Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's cracking? You rocking with your boy, the thinking deacon, the sinister minister, the rabbi Raymond Noodle, the chaplain of fried chicken's last rice, the preacher's grandson. Y'all know who it is, and the newly ordained minister. That's Fat Cat. And of course, you know, unfortunately, my co-host, my dog Satellite, won't be in today, so you only got me today in the lounge, but we gonna still make it a good show. So if you want to comment on any topic that is discussed within the lounge, you know what you gotta do to gain access. This is the VIP lounge. You gotta call that number 646-564-9728. Make sure you press that one if you want to gain access into the VIP lounge where we be talking cash. Cash. I don't say that other word, but we be talking cash. You know, this is a speakeasy place, like back in the old days, the little speakeasy places. So, but only thing that your boy don't drink or nothing like that. But anyway, we're gonna have a good show today. We're gonna have a good show, and just like we start every show, we want to wish our happy birthdays. Do I know anybody whose birthday is here? Who? What is this? This is September. September. My mom's birthday passed. Nah, I don't know nobody else's beyond this time, but anyway, if you are celebrating a birthday in this month, if I missed it because it's been a long time since we've been on, because I've been so busy, my duty's been picking up. So happy birthday, happy belated birthday, or wherever you fall in between that. We want to wish you a happy birthday, because it's always good to be in the land of the living. Amen, amen, amen. And unfortunately, just like we got life, we got death, and we at the Fat Cat Show want to send our heartfelt condolences out to those who have lost people and are still grieving, because death, people think it's just a one and done thing. When you lose somebody, like you have the funeral and you grieve your loved one, and it's supposed to be out within a couple of days or something. Sometimes you don't ever get over death. You know, it's always, I ain't gonna say you don't never get over it, but to some it comes, it gets easier with time. Others, they grieve a little bit longer than others. And I know when my grandparents died, my grandparents were my world. My auntie was my world, and from time to time I still think about them. It's never an easy thing when you think about your loved ones that once impact your life, that you can't even come to them no more and talk to them on this earth, and they might have spoke life over you, or they might have been one of the biggest joys in your life, when everything was falling apart and all of that, and you got the chance to just go and talk to that person, and so I understand right now, because I didn't have respect for death in the beginning, because God had blessed me so long not to have lost people, but now life is a part of death, and we know that in that Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the light. He that believeth in me, even though he were dead, yet shall he live. And he that liveth and believeth in me shall never die." And he went a step further when he said, "Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are there many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you." He said, But anyway, we're going to have a good show. It was so much I missed in the media. Of course, we're going to talk about the preacher that had the choking incident with a young lady that came in his church. Today we're going to talk about that. We also are going to talk about the Boston Celtics coach being fired. Not fired, but being suspended for the whole year. Awesome stuff that I thought was kind of funny. And also our main topic for today, when does a joke stop being a joke? And this is based off, of course, the latest stuff that Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish has been going through. I know I'm a little late, but hey, I'm gonna get to it anyway. Y'all know how we do. But anyway, how are y'all doing tonight? That is the thing. How's everybody out there doing tonight? I hope you're ready to chat with me because hey, I'm in this VIP alone. Of course, I don't got no fire water on the side of me or nothing like that, and I don't have my drink, my water prepared. My little liquid and all that stuff. But I'm gonna get through this show anyway. I love when I have people to talk to. So if you do want to call in and be a host with me today on the show, you can call in. That number is 646-564-9728. Make sure you press that 1 and come holler at your boy. It's all right. We can talk it, walk it, whatever you want to do. But anyway, I want to get into this topic today. And what's up, Will? If you want to, man, call the show. I don't have no host today. We can have our little back and forth. You know how we do. But today, I want to go talk about what happened. I think this was about a week ago with the bishop, and believe me, I'm not going to be critical, because I think the one thing that people look past in this is that a bishop, a man of the cloth, is still a man. So I'm gonna get into this video of this incident that happened. This is the second incident that happened with this bishop, and so his name is Bishop Lamar Whitehead. And I think we all know they call him the flashy pastor, the Gucci pastor, all of that. And I may not agree with a lot of things he did, but we're gonna watch this video and we're gonna get into discussing about.
Police say when a woman was asked to stop recording and leave, she began to antagonize the bishop and approach him on stage.
They take pictures and they want to be on social media. Take the pictures. Take the pictures.
As she walks past Bishop Whitehead, he appears to grab her from behind and they move off camera.
Seen her walk in front of me, going at my wife and my daughter, and I grabbed her.
He says he was worried about his family and thinking back to the moment in July when he was robbed at gunpoint during a sermon streamed live online.
That's the only thing that I can remember. This lady had a bag under her arm and she was going after my wife.
The woman in the video, 47-year-old Tarsha Howard, was arrested and charged with trespass and disrupting a religious service. She showed us her injury and made a brief statement.
I am telling you right now that I did not charge after his wife. It's on video and everyone can see that I was the one that was assaulted.
Confrontation.
Well, anyway, y'all get the picture. This is the second incident that has happened at the bishop's church. And I'm not trying to be judgmental or anything, because I'm pretty sure, with me being a clergyman myself, there is going to be a lot of mistakes that we make simply because we're human and we're subject to human error, and we have our feelings and emotions and all that too, and I'm not justifying anything that was done because it was wrong. Yeah, but we gotta be in a state of forgiveness and understanding that and I'm not trying to be. Don't get me wrong, because people will take this incident and they will quickly condemn and indict all preachers, all churches, and everything off one pastor's or preacher's doggone mistakes. And even when you have the money hungry, as you would say it, Will, Mr. Bojangling type preachers, they get up there and they talk about, they try to finesse you out of your money and things like that. Other preachers like myself and stuff, we gotta cringe because it's a bad showing. It makes our job as clergymen harder to reach certain demographics and stuff like that. Now, I'm not, I have my own reasons why I wouldn't do some of the things that he do. Like, he's kind of trendy with, of course you see he got a Fendi shirt on, and he liked Gucci and all this other Prada, all this type stuff. And I mean, to each his own. You dress like that, but I know one thing, that the average person, if we dress the way people want us to dress, if we came out with a suit with a collar on, holding our Bible, and we walk up to the average individual, they will not listen to us. You will not engage us, because most people will be intimidated by the collar or the suit. You will not listen to us. But and some people don't trust preachers just as well as they don't trust cops and all that, for whatever reason you have in your beliefs, your belief system, or political beliefs or religious beliefs or whatever it is. They won't walk up to us. So most times we do have to dress the part like other people, and just come and be able to mingle in, and you'll be surprised how you get a conversation out if you're not wearing, if the preacher is not wearing a tie, or if he kind of like on an outward appearance look like the rest of the world do. So I don't knock him strictly for that. I think it in a way it's both a positive and a negative when it comes to wearing things of the world. I think for one pastor said at a training that I went to, he was talking about one day he came to church and he was wearing a nice white suit and some good like shoes, and he said when he preached, he said after he got through preaching, he came up to the congregation, and he said it seemed like the attention was more on what he wore than the actual sermon, and so there's both a positive and negative with doing that. Personally, at my church, we kind of fight a little bit of the traditional type church. Not fight, I ain't gonna say that because we don't want no confusion in there, but we kind of like go against the grain with it, because we'll have things like jogging suit Sundays. We'll wear jerseys in church and things like that to change the narrative, because there are certain people that don't want a collar and stuff and suit and tie up in their face, that they want to know that we can relate to them a little bit on some areas. Yeah, we ain't gonna be able to relate to everything, because one thing that I was never was a killer. I ain't no killer, I didn't sell drugs. I wasn't a drug dealer, nothing like that. I've been around people that did it, but I was never that. Now, if you talk about any other type of seeing, I can relate to you. I've been a drinker. I've been a weed smoker. I've been all of them things. I've been a fornicator and things like that. I could relate to a lot of that, but we have to be careful though of how we present ourselves, because a lot of people can't get past the surface, because we trying to reach you internally. But hold on, let me. I do got a call. You rocking with the Fat Cat Show? What's happening?
Oh, what's going on, Fat Cat as well?
What's up with you, man?
Just checking out the show. listening to the topic that you got about the preachers.
Yeah. What did you think about that, man?
Um, well, I can say that the reason why that brother, that pastor, may be getting what he's getting, because it could be something in his message that's in error,
Yeah.
and his actions don't match up with, you know, the suits and what's coming out your mouth. So
yeah.
I believe it's more of the message, not necessarily what you wear. You can wear anything.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't come with a bunch of flashy clothes.
Right.
He overtook people's minds and opinions with his message.
Right.
So I think it should be more about the message of teaching love and respect and oneness among human beings.
Right. And that was the one thing you took the words right out of my mouth. Where I was going there, because sometimes when things happen to us, like, because he had several incidents, and this is no coincidence. And I think sometimes, in our incidents, that God tries to speak to us on certain things, and not judging the person, because
right.
we just live in a world that's faltered. It's just anything can happen to anybody. The world got a saying, even the sun shines on the dogs, behind has sometimes, but the Bible, the scripture says, he maketh it rain on the just as well as the unjust. He maketh the sun to shine on the just as well as the unjust. This just the trials and tribulations of us living in the type of world that we live in. But the only difference is that those of us that believe, we believe in deliverance. That God is going to deliver with us. So it's just with him. I don't agree with him putting hands on the lady like that. I think a lot of times the systems within the church that's set up was supposed to protect him for even getting to that level, because that goes to show you whenever that happens, because there was supposed to be deacons, the elders.
Well, I don't think he needed any of that. I think, as Jesus said, judge the fruit.
Yeah.
Look at the fruit and judge it, and based on your actions, you're not dealing with things like a man.
Yeah.
You're dealing with things emotionally. You're dealing with things on a negative frequency with people.
Yes.
And I don't view you as a leader or a pastor if you can't lead people out of negativity into positivity.
Right.
Don't be a preacher.
Right.
If you got to attack people with the same thing they attack you with, you're not very bright, and you don't really know that word.
Right. But the thing that I'm saying, that just like the scripture says, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and we had some very powerful men in the Bible who God had to rebuke. Peter was one of them. He rebuked, but at the same time, Jesus called Peter rock. You know what I'm saying? So, but Peter ended up being something totally. Jesus saw his heart, so he knew that that Peter was going to take hold of and lead the disciples after he ascended to heaven. So he knew he saw that in him. But it's just with us, we gotta. I cringed when I saw that video, because I knew it was going to be taken out of context, that people forget that preachers are men too. You know what I'm saying? That we can fall.
Yeah, I completely understand the fact that he's a man, but with a lot of things come a lot of responsibility.
Yes, it does.
So if you want that responsibility, or you want that job, or whatever you called to do, then you if you want that job, you ain't gonna go to work and jeopardize your job doing something stupid because you know you're gonna lose your money.
Right.
Well, he needs, as the pastor, he needs to look at that and say, well, I don't want to lose contact or my influence that God has on my life by taking the wrong action or making the wrong decision.
Right.
It's no different. If that's your job, don't put your job in jeopardy.
Right.
Make good decisions. Right. You would make good if you so-called cared about your family.
Right.
Hey, if she want to bust a move, your wife could have got up and whooped her. No, it's not. She would have got up and defended herself, and it would have been some let the laundry clean itself.
You know the thing is though, when you got strong deacons in the church and elders, they would have handled that. They would have handled, because they are the shield for the pastor when he up there delivering a message. They're not.
But if that man can't outthink a woman, if he cannot sit and intelligently articulate himself to outthink a woman, to outclever a woman, he does not need to be in that position. If you can allow a woman to come into your church and you can be emotionally moved to be physical with that woman, you don't need to be in that position. You ain't in no position of God, because God created man first and then the woman from us. She should be subservient to me through what I have to say and how I conduct myself. And if she want to get out of line, then at that point, the females can deal with the females. Trust me.
Let me ask you. You remember the story of David, right?
What story?
And you know that
which one?
Wait a minute. You know that David was a man after God's own heart. And that's what God said. David was a man after his own heart.
Yeah, you talking about he killed his right hand man for
his wife,
for Bathsheba?
For his wife, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so even in that, even in that, God spared him. He took his child. The child.
Yeah, he spared him, but he took his child.
He took his child, but at the same time, it didn't cancel David out of his importance to God, and that's the thing that we gotta lean towards. You know what I'm saying? I understand that we have.
Okay, God had mercy. God had mercy on David for his shortcoming.
Yeah,
and he did fall. But the Bible, when you look at those people and you look at those stories, they're supposed to be an example for you as a man now not to fall. So you're supposed to look to David. You're supposed to look to King Solomon as a leader and say, hey, ain't nothing new up under the sun. Pussy ain't new up under the sun. Cheating ain't none of this new up under the sun. So what they went through, if I decide to make the wrong decision, I'll go through the same thing my forefathers went through. It's nothing new up under the sun. So I need to make good decisions.
Right.
And those decisions need to be one that doesn't put me in a position of King David lusting after another woman when women is 10 of them for every one of us. I don't need to lust after no one woman, especially another man's wife.
Right. Well, let us hop. I kind of overdid this topic right here, but
okay.
I want to go into the story about the Boston Celtics head coach Ime Udoka. He was suspended. Did you hear about that today? That he was suspended?
I mean, I kind of, bumped into it, just reading over some shit that he got fired or suspended or whatever. Excuse me, allegedly.
Yeah, but this was how it was presented when I first saw the article. It was saying Boston Celtics head coach suspended for conduct detrimental to the team, and then later it came out. It came out that he was having an affair with a staff member on the Celtics, and of course we know that the Boston Celtics head coach is the fiance of Nia Long, and so So now the reports are surfacing that he's going to be suspended for the whole year. For now, morally, I could see that maybe that was wrong morally. But then again, he not married. He not married to her. He's engaged to Nia Long, but still. But if the conduct, I see why sometimes they have, where they say what they call it, fraternizing. No fraternizing at certain jobs and stuff like that. And by him being her boss in a position of power, I understand why they took the position that they took. Because if he ever had to fire her, then it's going to be similar to what what happened with Vince McMahon, But here it is. He's getting the blunt of it, of the punishment. The woman is not suspended. They won't call her out. Stephen A. Was on the show, and this was one of the many times that I kind of sided with, agreed with Stephen A. He said, hey, y'all could have dealt with that internally. Y'all didn't have to bring it out. But if you're going to bring it out eternally, then bring the woman out too. If you're going to give, basically,
I mean, I understand that you could be fair, but we live in a society where media sells hate and corporations sell hate. Mm-hmm. So it's the perfect situation to sell to people to hate more. That to me is the whole propaganda spin with that. Yeah, it's just to get people to hate more, men to hate women to hate men, whites to hate half-breed blacks and shit. It's all fucking racist. We all racist, and I don't want to get into my whole tirade with that.
But you know what? It's the big machine pushing the agenda out. Because if you look at it, and I said this earlier off camera, the Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ,
hate,
LGBTQ,
hate. All those groups, push hate.
Women's lib,
hate.
What's the other one? Me Too movement. The Me Too movement, all of them fuel the same agenda, and all of them are trying to. All of them are trying to, let me say, get rid of the alpha male. They want to.
To me, it's all hate, and it's to get rid of any harmony. Yeah. Without harmony, God can't be God, or the all, or what people consider God to be, can't work in chaos. Yeah. So you got a group of people that's like, we're going to make order out of chaos, because they know by teaching you to hate creates chaos. Therefore, what you consider the force of God to be can't exist, or you can't be privy to that power. And they know that in ignorance of the law does not an excuse. So they use that against the people to enslave them.
Right. We gonna have 2 more minutes on this subject, and then we gonna get to our main topic. But yeah, but I agree with Stephen A. though. If we gonna put this thing out, if we gonna give Udoka a scarlet letter, then bring the woman out with him. Give her the scarlet letter too.
Well, they're not going to do that, because to do that would be fair. And when you want to promote hate, you take away the ability, or the ability to be fair about the situation. Yeah. So that's just a part of promoting hate. You take unfairness out of it. That way somebody feels slighted and they just hate other people. That's what the whole propaganda campaign was for. It was an agenda to get people to lose their power that they have within inside of themselves to connect with God, because you can't connect with God when you full of hate.
And I'm gonna say this real quickly, and we're gonna get off it. I think quickly. I think it's something underlying in that organization that's going on, because Boston was never known for being a minority friendly type of town, especially in basketball. And when you look at it, in the city, because you heard stories even when Robert Parrish and Dennis Johnson and all them black players was playing there, the crowds was calling them niggas and all of that stuff. And then now you got, I think besides Doc Rivers, the one of the first black coach. Wait, it was Casey Jones, and it was Doc Rivers, and it was them. So that town never really been friendly to it. So I think it's just the thing running its course, though. But anyway, man, we gonna get off of this, and we gonna get into
for sure.
We gonna get into our main topic for today. And our main topic for today is, when does a joke stop being a joke? When does a joke stop being a joke? And I got this off of the recent events of the Tiffany Haddish, Aries Spears controversy with that skit. Of course, they waited, just like the powers that be do. When you do something in your when you make a statement that they don't like, then they begin to dig in your past. And he made a statement about Lizzo. Aries Spears don't ever hold punches on the things that he say, and he makes a lot of enemies. And so he made this comment about Lizzo, and then all of a sudden they dig up a video of him, of an old skit that him and Tiffany Haddish did about the pedophile, and now here go the blackball game. Him and Tiffany Haddish, they didn't want to really blackball Tiffany Haddish because she perpetuates how they want black women to be viewed, but butt dancing, Bojangles Negro. Yeah. So we on the same page, and so now, because they got a chance to get Aries Spears, she became a casualty of war, and so. But the question.
Well, he's a butt dancing Bojangles Negro too.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
But let me you silly, but now let's look at comedy in a whole. Comedy makes fun of real life situations, and you done seen many times. For Richard Pryor, for example. Some of the stories that he told of his life, was part of his comedy. About being raised in a whorehouse. He shared some stories about being raped and stuff like that, and that became part of his comedy. And everybody laughed at his life, but that was his life. Now, if you would have took this about 10 to 15 years ago, nobody would have been frowning about this. Nobody would have frowned about this, but here it is. Here it is, you got now, I think when it comes to comedy, sometimes it depends on how a certain group feels a certain day, or how a certain person feels a certain day. How you can. I'm gonna give an example. When I was working at Greektown, it was a guy. He was a real funny guy I worked with, man, and he used to joke around with this pit manager, right? This older little pit manager. She was a little fox, and he used to joke with her, and all that. So I remember I was in the pit this day, and I had to act like I didn't hear nothing, because I didn't want to be trapped up in this mess. So he came up in the pit with her carrying the chip field, and she was standing right there. He was like, and this is something he did with her all the time. He said, "Man, I smell fish." And he did this to her all the time. They played like that. But this particular day, she was angry. And she reported him. and she called it sexual harassment. She called it sexual harassment, and he got fired. And they came to me.
Right.
They came to me and asked me, "What did you hear?" Now you know me. I had to play the I didn't hear nothing, master, because I wasn't getting in that mess. Because they would have thrown me up under the bus. I didn't hear a thing. I didn't hear a thing. So what is your take on jokes? When do you think a joke crosses the line? Don't you know?
Well, I mean, we live in a society where people try to make excuses for the fact that they like to be objectified, and therefore, they come up with all this bullshit when really, life is objectifiable, and we all are being used for something. We just need to decide what we're being used for and what we need to do. So, as far as a joke, some jokes work, some don't. If somebody says something fucked up, it's just words. But now we live in this society where people feel like words affect them so much that they can't believe in themselves enough to just say, well, what that person said doesn't really fucking matter to me, so fuck them, and just go on with the rest of their day. They rather take that person and make an example out of them because of words. And I think people should be able to say what they want to say, and the universe will deal with you.
Right.
Gotta deal with you.
And the sensitivity now, this sensitivity now is affecting.
I think it's a double standard because most women can objectify a man and there is no
consequence. Yeah.
There's no type of pushback on that. They can say what they want to say about us, and they can throw us down to the ground and verbally, and it's no repercussions. But when it comes to a man, we're held to a different standard. So I mean, life isn't fair. So learn the game and play by the rules, and circumvent rules, and don't self-snitch on yourself. Definitely don't. When it comes to these women, don't be making condescending jokes. If you got something to say to a woman, you could be direct with her, but just know you take the risk when dealing with a woman. And when it comes to my money and a female, I'm gonna take my money and part ways with the female. And most guys are stuck in their pride of trying to prove something to a female, whether it be through a joke or some condescending comment. They feel that they have no power, and I don't need to say anything to a woman to maintain my power. I can do that just through my actions. So you won't catch me joking with a woman that I don't know.
Right.
You won't catch me joking with a woman who isn't like my sister or my wife. If anything, if I'm out in this business, it's business. And I don't think you should mix the two. So guys who do that, who come into work and you want to be fucking jokers, then that's kind of what you get when you deal with the female.
and that's so unfortunate too. It is, because like I said, you see it over and over.
Or life ain't fair.
Yeah.
But life ain't fair. So instead of trying to make life be some shit, you need to, as a man, do what you need to do in life so you can make it and make that be your first priority, not your ego. So the fact that you would sit there and take time out of your day to do that just lets me know that you feel powerless to the woman. And through your ego, you must say these condescending, slick, jokeful things to a female in order to get her to move the way you want to. That's not how real men move.
So it's so. Did you see the Aries Spears Tiffany Haddish skit?
Yeah, I peeped it and I kind of got a chuckle out of it because it reminded me of some Bill Cosby shit.
Yeah.
I can see the fucking comedy, because I'm not sitting here trying to judge a person based on my experiences.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it for what it is.
Yeah, because what they say, art imitates life, right? So
Of course,
it's
these things happen.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then they should have dragged fucking Dave Chappelle for doing the piss on me skit. They should have dragged his ass through the mud for the piss on me skit. So wait a minute. So Dave Chappelle gets to do the piss on me, and he gets to be a pedophile, and everybody laughs. But that's why I said this whole thing is fueled by hate. And once the propaganda or the news gets people to perceive a perception of you of negativity, people will just take that, run with it, and hate you. So that's why I said that all of this shit is just fueled to hate. We hate the man, we hate the woman, we hate these people, we hate that. Everybody, it's all the hate, and it's a distraction from, you know what, we could just be better people. We can make better choices.
And it goes back to the last topic that we was talking about with the Boston Celtic coach. Even with that, you had two consensual adults who messed around a little bit. Like who even told? Yeah. Who even told? Just like
life ain't fair though. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We can sit and we can pontificate on those things, but when it comes to a man, you have to realize the game of life and how it's set up against you, and how you have to follow the laws of the universe to circumvent all the bullshit. That's what you have to do as a man. You have to conduct yourself a certain way and carry yourself a certain way. And if you're not going to do that, ignorance to the law is not a fucking excuse. You're still going to be held accountable. Because I remember God in y'all's Bible, God walked up to Adam first and say, hey, where you at? We usually walk with each other through the breezy part of the day. He confronted Adam first. Mm-hmm. He didn't go to Eve. He confronted that man. So that lets you know, just in a subliminal way or a way of a sign, that we're held more accountable than a woman.
Because he gave the
just do that parable.
He gave the instruction to Adam. He didn't.
Yes, and Lucifer thought that we were stupid because of the simple fact that we still gave over power to him, even though we had the power of wisdom and knowledge, what made us look weak in front of our woman. So therefore, that's why you have to conduct yourself as a man and make better decisions. Even me, I'm not perfect, but I'm learning and putting that into practice.
Yeah, it's a lot. When you dealing with things, especially things that somebody can find offensive, and in this world now, it could be the most simplest things that we used to sit back and have conversations on. It's the most simplest things.
Yes, but that's the woman's spirit and the woman's nature, and that is at the forefront of each argument and debate. So, like I said, as a man, it's not fair when we have to navigate through this world and make good decisions, not ones that are based off of emotion, but ones that are based off of wisdom and knowledge and sound understanding or overstanding, or the fact that you stand on something and you can not be moved. That's what you have to do in this society, because the woman is always going to be the agent of the devil. That's going to be the biggest agent to the devil.
You can see it. You can feel it too. You can feel that shift happening. Even in like when I was watching ESPN today, and they was talking about the Boston Celtic coach, and Stephen A. He went off. He said, when he said what he said, hey, I agree. If we going ethically, because of the job, because of what's been set in place, yeah, he should be suspended. He said, but at the same time, if we gonna get that scarlet letter to him, the scarlet letter should go to the woman. And then what happens? What happened? Then a woman reporter came on and she tried to cut him up. And she said, hey, Stephen A., stop it. Stop. And she twists the whole narrative.
Yeah, right.
She twists the whole narrative. She said,
Of course.
she was like,
What they do.
hey, don't try to put this on no woman. And then Stephen A. was like, wait a minute, I didn't say that it was the woman. I said that, hey, it's supposed, if he getting suspended, she should be suspended too. They in the same, because it was consensual.
That is definitely fair and balanced. You're right. In a perfect world, it probably would happen that way. But we don't live in that type of world, and the whole discussion is smoke and mirrors for an illusion that will never be, because there's nothing new up under the sun. This has been going on for thousands of years. So if people think that all of a sudden the sun gonna come up and shit just gonna change overnight like that, that's a goddamn lie.
Because remember,
we know as men we need to be responsible for our actions and what we do. Point blank, period. It doesn't matter. You can make all these excuses. Well, it's no different than saying the devil made me do it, or no different than Adam saying this woman that you gave me brought me the fruit. Mm-hmm. You knew what you were doing. So take responsibility as a man, because now that this world is created and set up the way that it is, that's just the way it is. So you can pontificate on it from here to fucking next week. It won't change. Do what you need to do as a man. Understand the game and beat it. That's it.
It's
Don't let no woman suck you into no honey trap. She's an agent for the devil if she's working like that. If she's making moves and sleeping and doing secretive shit, that's an agent of the devil. So you already dealing with devil shit. So when you come out as a man and you get fucked over, don't sit there and complain and try to be the victim, because that's just how it's set up in this reality. That's a part of the test. That's a part of your temptation. That is the thing as men you need to overcome.
Because this thing now has a deeper undertone, because even now, like you said, all this stuff spills over to every facet in life, and it's like the agenda. Yeah. It's controlling. It's controlling what politicians say.
It's controlling your lower nature as a man. Yeah. When you can't control your lower nature, you are at the behest of anything in this world, including a woman, especially a woman. So keep your lower nature in check. That's what you're supposed to do as a man, because a woman can run wild with hers and no accountability is held to her feet. But you as a man, yes, that's how the world works. That's why, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Well, you the man, you the king. Yeah, so if you wearing that, understand what it come with. Don't make excuses. Don't say, oh, the bitch made me do it or the devil made me do it. No, you made the choice. You were tempted. You gave in. No different than David when you spoke of earlier. He gave into the temptations of lust to the point where he was so lustful, it made him an evil man to kill another man to take his wife. That's what I'm saying. We got to get that lower nature in check. That lower nature not being in check causes you to make inappropriate comments to women. That's what happens. We have to put that as men in check, because we will be penalized if we don't. That's just how it go. That go for any man, including that butt dancing Bojangling pastor you was talking about.
Now, when did us from the minute from day one when we became friends, our whole thing has been always been joke. We sit there and play the dozens with each other all day
Of course.
long.
We're friends.
Yeah.
We're friends.
All day long. And it's funny. Has anybody ever cracked a joke on you that you found offensive?
The only reason I found it offensive because the damn joke was true. You call me a fat ass, and at the time I'm fat, I might take that offensive, but goddamn it, it's true. I'm a fat ass, so I need to lose some weight. And when people start to take what people are saying and saying, well, yeah, it could be saying as a joke, and they just, trying to show love, yeah, that's a different perspective. We're men, we can do that. You can't joke with no woman. You can't, listen, man. Most of the time, you can't even tell your woman the truth because it'll scare the hell out of her. It'll scare her away. We deal with women differently. We deal with them like kid gloves. They can't take rejection like us. Men, we rejected all the time through our life. We rejected all the time. We got to get right back up, brush ourselves off, and keep going. Men are held to responsibility. Women, not so much. That's just the world. That's how it goes. Yin and yang, black and white, night and day. But come on, man. It's just how it goes.
That's the way of the world. You be like, man, so yeah.
Hold yourself up, and I'm telling you from experience because I ain't made all good decisions, but I'm at a point in my life where I understand just the game and how it go and the decisions that I need to make, and I'm responsible for those decisions. No one else is. Not Eve, not the serpent. I am.
And you know what? And I think that's why I can appreciate my wife more, with that, because my wife ain't, to me, I say that to me, my wife ain't the typical woman. It's like me and her can sit here, we can cap on each other all day. She'll talk about, look at your nose.
That's because y'all friends.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
But you still, that's the point.
But she still got that woman part of her. Hey! That, you know what I'm saying? That you have to.
Well, yeah, and you deal with that up until a certain point because you know how she's the weaker vessel. You understand that. But like I said, most men who walk through life don't even understand the nature of a woman, less the nature of themselves. They don't even know themselves. So when they go around making goofy ass jokes and comments about people, you could push yourself in the trick bag. Oh, because you're doing it all for your ego. You're doing all because you want to make yourself feel better by putting something else down, especially something weaker than you. That's why I say real men don't move that way. Oops.
It's funny though. I just, and everything that you said is just true because we got to the point where we live in a world where everything is being dissected. Everything.
And we as men have lost our abilities to lead because we've disconnected ourselves from God due to the propaganda and programming of negativity and hate. So therefore, a lot of us men don't have the power. And of course the woman does because, like I just said, she's an agent of the devil. I.e. your story of Eve messing around with the serpent first, the bad guy. It's in their nature to like the bad guy. Some women can control their nature. Lots of them can't. That's what makes a wife between a hoe.
90
hoe can't control
seconds.
the nature of herself. A wife can.
Yeah.
And she does that because of her man knows how to lead and love her.
Amen. It's funny, but we coming down to our last minute, and I want to thank you, man, for coming on the show, and we had some good conversations with that,
60 seconds
with that, but to me personally, I didn't look at the skit as something negative. I looked at it as a reality, a truth, and it says something to a lot of things where these mothers, instead of taking it as, yeah, I need to, I used to do that, just drop my kids off with anybody and things like that. They didn't look at it at that point. They looked at it as, I want something to barf and be about. But anyway, we got.
Yeah, well, that's because they ain't gonna take no accountability.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and we
10 seconds.
Once again, we up out of here, and y'all be safe out there until we see you next time. Peace.
Peace.